I'm going to show you how to work with Python scripts for the Pelle HPC cluster for the course Intro to Python for HPC as provided by NICE. As you can already see in this table of content, I will tell you why Python scripts are so important. And in the exercise, we're going to create a Python script and we're going to run a Python script. Zooming in a bit, the learning outcomes will be to practice using the documentation of your HPC cluster. In this case, it's Pelle, and that is a part of UpMax. It's maintained by UpMax. And using that documentation, we are going to create a Python script and run a Python script. Why are Python scripts so important? Well, this is because the alternative is always worse. Like you can't copy paste code line by line in your interpreter and run it line by line. But then already you're copy pasting those lines from a file or from an email or from whatever you're copy pasting from. You already have all those lines of commands, and putting those lines of code in a file, then you have the same thing, but then you can call it a Python script. A Python script is a plain text file with Python code in it. Also, you really need it to schedule more complex calculations. There are some ways to even pass that, but that's super weird and hard to do. So we definitely need Python scripts. So let's do exercise 1. We're going to create a Python script. Let's take a look. For your favorite HPC center, find the documentation on how to create a file. Search 5 minutes max. If you cannot find it, use the UpMax documentation about Nano. So Pelle is already maintained by UpMax. Still, I'm gonna search for it anyway. So let's see how easy it is. So we're gonna search for create file. Let's see, create file transfer. Create a singularity. Alright, so this is not very satisfactory. Let's do text editor instead. Text editor is beautiful. Like a text editor is where you can edit files and text. Nano is a simple text editor. Just click on this. And now we are at the Nano page. This is exactly the same page at the UpMax documentation. This is how to create a file. Good. And this is here is how to use it. You'll see I'll just describe what is going on because Nano shows how to quit and how to save and so on. Good, but this is what we're gonna do. Nano and then the name of the file on Pelle. So we need to create a file called helloworld.py. Let's do that. Let's go to Pelle. Here I'm on Pelle. Nano, name of the file, enter. And now I am in Nano. Copy paste the following content into the script. Right? So I copy paste this, Control C, Control Shift V. You need Shift to paste to a terminal. Well done, now it's here. Save the script. So to save the script, at the bottom are the things you can do. And one of them is called write out. This is like the old school way to say save. And they have used this notation, which is the old school way of saying Control and O. So I do Control and O. And now it suggests a file name to write to. It gives me the file I'm working on as a name. By default, I press enter and I have saved it. It also says here at the bottom, wrote one line. Next step is to close the text editor. Well, looking at the bottom, I see exit here with Control X. So I press Control X and it's closed. Now we're going to verify that the script has its contents saved. Like maybe we forgot to save. Let's double check. So by pressing up, I go to the previous command. I can use Nano again. I open it and I see that the text is still there. I press Control X to exit. But I can also use cat, which is the Linux command to display the content of a file. Good, so here I have just created a Python script. The next step is how to run it. I'm gonna search the documentation again to find out how to run a Python script. So let's go to the documentation. I'm gonna search for run Python, intro to Python, Python PN, runtime tips, Python. Here we have it. Use Python to run a Python script. You can run it like this. So Python, name of the script. Let's do that. Python, name of the script, enter, and it worked. Do notice I have not loaded a Python module. And that's because this code also works for very old versions of Python, and by default you have a very old version of Python. So I can load the module for Python to get a newer version, and I'll just try out module load Python to see if this already works. Maybe I need to use a capital P. Let's find out here. Now I have loaded a newer version of Python, and if I run hello world now, it shows exactly the same, but now from a newer version of Python. Good. That means that I have just showed you how to work with Python scripts from the Pelle HPC cluster maintained by UpMax for the course Intro to Python for HPC as provided by NICE. With this, I wish you a very good day. Bye!